Hello guys and welcome here to the Carvana Wildcard Series. This is race number 6 here today from the Pocono Raceway. This one's a different configuration, and clearly the track crew went to a lot of work, apparently bringing up the old pavement and the guardrail for the pit lane. So congratulations to them, good work. And anyway, today we are bringing you the Pocono Raceway, the second of our double header. Of course, the first one was on the oval, or triangle, as you want to call it, I guess. Whatever is the correct terminology. This one is on the road course. So we are racing the Pocono road course for the first time ever in Carvana Wildcard Series history, and it is the first doubleheader in GCN history where we run both the oval version and the road course version of the track. We will have another one of those coming up at Indy, but they will not be on the same day. And anyway, the starting grid was determined 1 through 18. The positions were determined by an invert of the finishing results of the first race. So by that virtue, Mitchell Collins, he is your pole sitter for this race. And Frodemar Otts will start in second. Positions 19 through 36, they start where they finished. So that was the determination for qualifying. But anyway, we don't want to delay too much. Anyway, we'll be right back in just a moment with the green flag here from the Pocono road course. Here we go. They're coming back up the Long Pond Straight. Mitchell Collins, Frodemar Otts, they'll lead us to the green. Race number 2 underway. Of course, this race does start out on the oval part. We're headed into oval turn 1, and Frodemar Otts will take the race lead away. Here comes Dave Hashey. We haven't heard much of him this season. And again, the restrictor plates are removed from these cars now. As you see, the field is already spreading out. We head into turn 2, hard on the brakes. And now they'll be hard on the brakes once again and down to first gear as they head into the infield. 3 wide there for a sec, but it looks like they've sorted it out. You see we make it through pretty clean. It's a very tight turn onto the road course portion of the track. And then of course they will come back out onto the Long Pond Straight in just a moment. And there they go, right back onto it. And Frodemar Otts, he'll lead the opening lap here at Pocono. And by quite a bit. Almost a second advantage, hard on the brakes. Well, actually, they're just going to lift a little now on the brakes. Mid-corner. And of course, this is a track that these guys have not seen in Jello Cup or Carvana Wild Card. They've known the triangle. They have not known the road course. So this is a new experience for a lot of these Jello Cup Series competitors. As you see, once again, hard on the brakes. And again, I got to commend the track crew. Excellent job getting this track ready to go. You see there, Zach Fitzwater, Tyler Faden, they are battling for that 7th position, and Faden will hang on for the time being. This is not an easy track to pass on. You saw that earlier. So my guess is a lot of the passing will occur on the pit lane today. You also see this track is very narrow on the infield. And of course, no practice, so these guys really just kind of learning on the fly here. Especially the series vets, they are learning on the fly. After this, we head to Watkins Glen and the Roval. Those are the next two races on the schedule. Then we have A and B races, the first ones of the season, where we split the field in half, and that'll be at Fairgrounds. So we are on the first of a 3-race road course stretch. You see Dave Hashey, he is trying to make up as much time as he can. Frodo Marat's hanging on to third. Tim Randolph hanging on to fourth. Really no passing going on here. As they'll make their way back onto the Long Pond stretch. Ten laps to go here from Pocono. Now, obviously, the question will be, will this eventually be a track that the Jello Cup Series will run on? That is a possibility. Maybe even the Xfinity Series could run this road course, or the Lyft National Series, rather. Of course, Pocono, more of an open-wheel track, but of course doesn't host any open-wheel races, which is kind of sad. You see Hashey closed up a little bit. But of course, it is very difficult, as mentioned, very difficult to pass here on the Pocono road course. Just as difficult as it was on the Oval earlier. The Oval, of course, we saw a very thrilling photo finish between Chris Smith and Eric Faden, in which Eric Faden won the race. And right now, Faden is 16th, battling with, guess who? The guy he just battled with earlier today. And they'll head back out on the Long Pond Straight. They won't really battle for position, and the 11 is on the pit lane. So the lead goes to the 37 of Tim Randolph. And this should be the first of 2 stops here today. Of course, this track, I believe, slightly shorter than the Tricky Triangle itself. So I believe it is just slightly shorter than the actual Tricky Triangle. I believe it's 2.25 miles long, if I'm not mistaken. So these guys, of course, going to be running slower laps because it is a road course, but that means maybe some more gambling on fuel strategy. See their battle side by side. It's Scott Upton and Dave James, your Sonoma winner. And you see they're making the dive onto the pit lane, down to 45, which is the pit speed. And no one's going to gamble in this group. And the 11 came out on top in the first group that pitted. He's on the infield part now. They're back onto the Long Pond Straight. Oh, Mohammed Zain Abdullah is going to win the race off the pit lane. Here comes the 11. Do they have enough to pass these guys? Can they get up to speed? See, there goes the 11, and now he's held up by the 37. But now he'll look outside. Is this 3 wide for the lead? I believe so. And now they're going to be side by side entering turn number 2, and I believe Frodemar Ott will get the position. So Frodemar Ott will cycle back to the race lead in dramatic fashion here. And now Dave Hashey wants second. Unbelievable turn of events there. You see Tim Randolph doing everything he can to hold off Dave Hashey. Keep in mind, Dave Hashey has warmer tires. Those tires are up to temperature now. Tim Randolph is still trying to get some heat in those tires. So he's got to really hang on for the next lap or so. And you see it's now a 2-second advantage that Frodemar Ott has gained because he's on warmer tires. So I guess now we'll take you through the field. Frodemar Ott, he is the race leader. He's led just about every lap today. Tim Randolph, he's currently in second. Dave Hashey is currently in third after that cyclist stops. There's a battle for fourth right now. It is Anthony Logan and Mohammed Zain Abdullah, but Abdullah will hang on for the time being. Fifth is Anthony Logan, a good run going for the 70 team as they head into the hairpin to the infield. Sixth is now Tyler Faden, but it won't be for long because here comes Zach Fitzwater, the Australian, battling for the position. And it looks like Faden will hang on for the time being. Fitzwater, he falls to 8th. Your pole sitter, Mitchell Collins, he is currently in 9th. In 10th right now is Max Anderson. 11th is Chris Smith. 12th is Alexander Rowe. Or am I wrong? Could it be 12th, Casey Naneko? Next is Dylan Young. Then it's Matthew Logan. In 14th, yes, I was wrong. 15th is Dylan Ibrahimian. 16th is Dave James. 17th is Nikolai Sykes. Excuse me. Up next, we've got Eric Faden. He is 18th right now, and he's actually going to get around Nikolai Sykes for that 17th position. And 19th is Giorgio Stumu. And in 20th is Kevin Upton. That is through the field. As Frodemar Ott is just that advantage for him is just growing. Keep in mind, Frodemar Ott made the Championship 4 last season. He won at Sonoma. But he might be about to win on kind of a roval, for a lack of a better way to put it. But he might just win on an oval with the road course configuration. See, that lead just continues to grow. And that's good for him as we enter the final pit stops coming up here. And it'll be a good start to the road course portion of the schedule for Otts and this team because, again, we head to Watkins Glen next. We head north. Then we head to the Charlotte Roval. And then, of course, we'll head to Nashville Fairgrounds. See Randolph doing everything he can to close that gap. He was a Championship 4 guy for the Cup. Frodemar Ott was in the Championship 4 last season for Carvana in the winter time. Of course, he has led the most laps on this road course today, and he will pit right now a low exit out of the corner, and the 37, he will stay out. So Tim Randolph will reclaim the race lead here. And now he's going to want to put down his fastest lap to try to gain as much time as he humanly can. Here we go into the hairpin. Someone got off course, and it might have been the 41 of Kevin Upton. And here we go. Tim Randolph will now dive onto the pit lane. And he'll have a pretty big advantage over the 70 and the 07, as well as the 43. And you see the rest of these guys diving in, trying to gain as much time as they can. Oh man, a slow stop for Frodemar Otts. This could hand the lead to Dave Hashey. Here comes the 37. He's coming off the pit lane. Can he win the race off with 3 to go? See, he's going as low as he can, trying to stay out of the racing groove. Here comes Hashey. Will it be enough? And it looks like Tim Randolph is up to speed. Tim Randolph, he will have control this race by quite a bit. Hashey to second. Otts just picked up 4th, but he wants 3rd from Mohammed Zain Abdullah. So 3 spots lost on that pit cycle for Frodemar Otts. A heartbreak, to say the least, for the number 11. And Tim Randolph, he might have control of this race. 2 laps to go here at Pocono. Caution's out. Might be the 29 of Andrew Crouch. See a lot of guys running it wide. And our first caution all day here from Pocono. And I don't believe we will get restarted here. Oh, they stacked it up in there. Arca breaking into the corner. You see a lot of them just trying to get organized. And a lot of cars with heavy damage now. Will they limp it? That's the question. Let's go see what happened. Looks like a battle for 34th here between Sky Commons and Andrew Crouch, and Crouch runs it really high and just catches the grass here. And you see he's doing everything he can to save it. He's dirt tracking it. Sky Commons saves it, manages to keep going, but Andrew Crouch spins right in the middle of traffic. Hence the reason for the caution. They just couldn't allow him to race that close to traffic on a narrow track like this. A tough break for Andrew Crouch as he loses quite a few positions there. Let's take you to the finish here at Pocono. And here we go. Tim Randolph. He came very close. See, a few guys did retire. Mitchell Collins, Trevor Collins. Tough break for those guys. But anyway, Tim Randolph, out of the final quarter, he will win the second race of our doubleheader here at Pocono. Congratulations to Tim Randolph. Some excellent pitch strategy. Benefited from the misfortunes of Frodemar Otts. And he will get the job done here today. We're having some issues right here. Well, this might be the one and only race we ever do here at Pocono, as it looks like we've had a little AI glitch. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Probably the weirdest one of the weirder finishes I've ever seen. So let's get that sorted out. We'll show you results and standings. We'll be back tomorrow to finish up the week at Watkins Glen. Until then, goodbye everyone.